Meeting with an elected official or his or her staff is a great way to advocate for charter schools. With the help from CCSA and a few do's and don'ts outlined in this video, you'll be prepared for effective legislative meetings. In planning for a meeting, get to know current issues facing charter schools. Use CCSA web resources to get up to date. But remember, in addition to facts and figures, meetings are most effective when you share your own personal charter school story. Before meeting with an elected official, go over the role that each participant will play in the meeting.
Okay, why don't I start by talking about the issues that we're having with funding. You can talk about some of the problems we have with re-regulation. Then I'll add in some stories about the challenges that we're facing at my school, and you can talk about why you sent your children to a charter school.
Great, and then I'll follow up with the request that the senator oppose anti-charter legislation and disproportionate cuts in the state budget to charter schools.
That sounds good. I'll make sure to take notes on any follow-up that we need from CCSA, and we'll be sure to leave behind some fact sheets.
And I have student artwork.
Sounds great.
Where you'll be presenting the bill.
Okay, we'll talk. Hi, how you doing?
Start by introducing yourself and thanking the person for his or her time. Explain why you are there and what you want the person to do. Be clear, concise, and explicit.
Thank you so much for taking time to meet with us this morning. I'm Stacy Parker, a constituent of yours and a charter school principal.
And I'm Michelle Owens. I'm a parent at Excellente Charter School, and we're here to talk about charter school issues, including funding and red tape.
Great, glad you can come. I'm a big fan of charter schools, always have been. They tend to be the research and development arm of our public schools, and all the schools benefit from the work they do. Please have a seat here. Let's talk.
Do some research about your elected official. Know your audience.
We really appreciate your support, especially authoring AB 740, which created the Charter School Block Grant. It really helped our school with funding issues. However, we still are facing funding equity problems. As you know, charter schools are funded less than traditional public schools, and the recent deferrals have really affected our school. We cannot borrow like traditional public schools can.
Well, I appreciate that and I understand it, but these are tough economic times, so how can I help charter schools with this tough budget environment that we're facing?
Be respectful. Don't be hostile or confrontational. Respond to concerns thoughtfully, using data if possible.
You have a lot of tough decisions to make on the budget, and charter schools aren't asking for special treatment, just for funding equity. At my school, the continued funding deferrals have really hurt our ability to sustain. For instance, a charter school that opened after the 2008-09 school year doesn't have access to categorical funding. This provides funding for class size reduction.
Well, and one of the reasons why I chose a charter school for my children is because of the small class sizes. Unfortunately, it's not all just funding issues. One of the things we see every year is anti-charter legislation.
Ask the elected official to make a commitment.
Can we count on you to protect us from those kinds of bills and from the disproportionate cuts to charter schools?
I'll absolutely oppose any bills that harm charter schools, but do you happen to know how many charter students I have in my district?
Respond honestly. If you don't know the answer to a question, commit to getting the answer to him or her within the next few days.
I'll leave you with this list of schools in your district. Although it doesn't have the number of students served, I will make sure that somebody from CCSA follows up with that information.
Great, I appreciate that. As you may know, a lot of my colleagues accuse charter schools of cherry-picking the best students and not reflective of a regular student population. How do you refute that?
My kids got into Excellente Charter School by participating in a public random lottery process. Charter schools don't cream the best students or cherry pick. They're open to all.
Keep to the agenda and leave behind written information or student artwork with the elected official or their staff.
I know you have a busy schedule, so we won't keep you much longer. I do look forward to speaking with your office in the future to discuss charter funding issues.
But before we go, I want to leave you with this packet of information. It has some fact sheets and student artwork from Excellente Charter School.
Great. Well, thank you very much for this, and thanks also for coming in today. It makes a big difference when people who understand the issues come and personally advocate.
Always end the meeting with a thank you, no matter how the meeting went.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate your support of charter schools.
Thank you.
After the meeting, debrief and report back to CCSA any substance from the meeting.
So how do you think that went?
I thought it went well. It's too bad that we couldn't get him to commit to anything on the budget, but we should let CCSA know that he did commit to opposing anti-charter school legislation.
And they can follow up with him too and get him more information, data, and the budget issues he requested.
All we have to do now is to write our thank you notes.